care has been going on and we are all distracted with health care, we have a president who's calling for national standards of education and meeting with governors across the country. And while that all sounds well and good, it's an inevitable deprivation of parental rights as well as states' rights with education. Along those same lines, we have the United Nations Treaty on the Human Rights of the Child. And again, that's a serious threat to parental rights. So where do you stand as far as parental rights? Are you willing to go in there and get rid of the Department of Education?
Yeah.
And what beyond health care, you know, are we going to allow ourselves to be blindsided by that?
Exactly right. And you're exactly right. You know, here's the thing. You know, the federal is part of this job, of applying for this job. You know, anyone can apply for this job. We all have an opinion on the Department of Education, energy, and all those things. Well, you know, and I have my opinions. Well, when you actually start getting out here, you know, I actually have to start learning more and more and going deeper and deeper and kind of getting a deeper understanding of what was going on and what has been going on. And as I did that, I got sicker and sicker and sicker. You know, we look at the Federal Department of Education that was founded in 1979 by my favorite president, Jimmy Carter. Please note that was sarcastically said. That's going to be all over YouTube, you know, now. In 1979, with the sole mandate, and you can check out this for yourself. Please check it out for yourself. Go to the Federal Department of Education, www.federal, you know, and check it out yourself. With the mandate of formulating federal funding ideas that involve education, basically, add another word in ideas. But it's formulating federal funding projects that involve education. So the idea of just simply to spend your money, that's where the Federal Department of Education came from. This is spend your money. And at a time when we were spending $0, okay, spending $0, and we had an 85% graduation rate amongst high school students. We went from there to where we are today, where we spend $68 billion a year. $68 billion a year, and we're now down to a high school graduation rate of 75%. And you go in there and you look at what the Federal Department of Education works on. You know, there are layers of folks. By the way, over half the folks employed by the Federal Department of Education are not teachers, non-teachers. And they have there's nothing being said about being the best in science. There's not even a science department. You know, there's a racial equalities department. There's an African studies department. There's a Hispanics department. And there's nothing wrong with those kinds of things. But what's missing is you don't see the science, math, English. And amongst industrialized nations, what have we gotten for that $68 billion a year? Amongst 37 industrialized nations, our highest rating is 12th in reading. 12th. The United States of America is 12th in reading. Ah! And not to go down the line, but we are last in physics. That's what it's gotten us. I believe we could go in today and rip the Federal Department of Education out and not miss a step. Thank you. Oh, do a little applause there. Richard Behney, May 4th. Let's end on that. The reality of it is, and we're talking about how you can do things overnight, it's great political. I mean, that gets applause like that, and the other guys use it. I'm going to get rid of the Federal Department of Education. And the people go wild. But there's a reality. We're not going to rip it out overnight. Are we going to get rid of it? Yes. Yes. I will not support or write or vote for any legislation that does not reduce the size, scope, and budget of the federal government. That is the one promise I'm making. Right? So yes, I will work to peel it back. I believe that Hoosiers can teach Hoosiers in whatever way we want to, whether it's homeschool. You know, my wife and I have been looking at homeschooling. We don't have the temperament. If you do that, God bless you. Right. And we have our neighbor's son, a buddy of my son, 13-year-old, homeschools, and so we're looking at doing that because the public schools are just crazy. But whether it's, Hoosiers can teach our children, whether it be homeschool, public schools. And yes, I believe in the sovereignty of our Constitution, of our nation. I want to tell the UN to take a hike. I want them gone. The reality of that happening is it's not going to happen overnight. But we must have the mentality there that believes, okay, UN, you're nice, but don't tell me what to do with my family. You must have that attitude there. Does that answer your question?